after he compared the language in the Conservative government's new asylum policy as that not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s. Gary Lineker was suspended and asked to step back from his roles by the BBC. His suspension sparked a boycott from other BBC sports presenters, resulting in last weekend's coverage landing in disarray and the chaos taking up much of the news cycle. A few days after his suspension, Gary confirmed he and BBC bosses had navigated a way through the dispute, but the broadcaster's coverage of the dispute has not sat well with viewers. Samira Ahmed revealed the backlash the BBC has received since the dispute arose over its own coverage of the ordeal. Many BBC viewers slammed the broadcaster's ongoing coverage of Gary's suspension, with many suggesting it wasn't worthy of taking center stage across the weekend. Samira told BBC Breakfast viewers during Saturday's News Watch, "Now for some of your other comments this week." A week and a half on from that tweet about the government's refugee policy posted by Gary Lineker, the shockwaves are still being felt around Broadcasting House. And while the rights or the wrongs of a sports presenter's social media activity don't fall into the territory of a program called News Watch, the priority given to discussing it on news outlets certainly does. Again this week, we had complaints after BBC One's evening bulletins led on the story last Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and the News at 1 did so on Monday. A brief compilation of the aforementioned bulletins then played out to demonstrate the vast coverage. As the program returned to Samira in the studio, she continued, "All of that prompted Jackie Douglas to email on Saturday." She said, "I cannot believe that the first item on the news and first 5 topics on the BBC News website today are all about Gary Lineker. Does this spat with the BBC really warrant being the first item in a worldwide news program?" Samira continued. That was echoed on Monday by Colin Boone. "I've just watched the first 10 minutes of BBC One's lunchtime news and cannot believe this domestic squabble should take precedence over the junior doctors' strike and the rescue of the Silicon Valley Bank by HSBC. Come on BBC, get a grip." And John Silcock added, "I didn't realise that BBC News means news about the BBC." Don't miss. The Blacklist's Deirdre Loveloy pays tribute to Lance Reddick. Latest, Top Chef star recalls unaired moment bosses didn't want on TV. Exclusive, Outlander's Sam Heughan slammed for latest snap as fans hit out. Photo, Gary will be back to front match of the day this evening after he took to the social media platform earlier this week to confirm an agreement had been met with the BBC. He penned, "After a surreal few days, I'm delighted that we have navigated a way through this. I want to thank you all for the incredible support, particularly my colleagues at BBC Sport, for the remarkable show of solidarity. Football is a team game, but their backing was overwhelming." He followed this up with a series of other tweets which read, "I have been presenting sport on the BBC for almost 3 decades and am immeasurably proud to work with the best and fairest broadcaster in the world. I cannot wait to get back in the mod chair on Saturday." Gary added, "A final thought, however difficult the last few days have been, it simply doesn't compare to having to flee your home from persecution or war to seek refuge in a land far away. It's heartwarming to have seen the empathy towards their plight from so many of you. We remain a country of predominantly tolerant, welcoming and generous people. Thank you," he signed off alongside a love heart emoji. BBC Breakfast airs daily at 6 a.m. on BBC One.
Good lover. Now take